This is the fourth movement within this series of 4 forward mandalas, and it's called the full forward release. It's just like the forward release before, it's only that it gets to a point in the movement that you're bending your knees and you allow the descending spring to release into the natural extension of your ankles, and then after that the maximum descending spring becomes the momentum for the swinging spirals. So I'm just going to do it, and then we'll give you some details and instructions to it. So we start the same in the stanza of 0 point, and we're going to go to heaven because that's the way we complete the last movement. Okay? 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do it again because this movement ends in moon, but we'll start it again. 2, 3, and heaven 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, moon. So now it's just details of this movement. As I said, we'll begin in heaven, the same way that we started the next movement, the forward release, and then we go into the diagonals. I'm going to do it facing a little bit diagonal so you can see where it goes from heaven. It enters the diagonal and the suspended heart here, and this is the beginning of the wave that you learn in the forward release, from the pelvis, releasing the wave, and it arrives to a point that is in between the maximum extension and touching balance. So the point is the place that as you allow yourself to go forward, the knees become free to open. And the knees becomes very, very free to open on top of your lower back. You feel like totally connected in top of the lower back. And then from then, finding touching balance, the point of touching balance, that allows you to descend into the spring and complete the swinging spirals to get to the moon, to complete the movement. So the detail that I want you to pay attention to it as I do it is the place that I allow myself to almost fall forward. Falling forward. It's not really falling, but I allow myself to go in the direction that I'm going. And notice that it's not as far away as the forward release, in and outer balance, but it's not as close as touching balance. So there are 3 places: touching balance, this one is in between the 2, and then in and out of balance, which is the forward release. And then opening the knees, and when you open the knees, allow the knees to open sideways, again toward the direction of your feet. Allow your ankles and your heels to really extend in it. Then allow yourself again to feel connected to the lower back before you come back again into the swinging spirals and you go to the moon. So I do it twice, okay? Here we go. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, heaven. 1, 2, 3, suspended heart. 1, 2, falling free. Releasing the knees 4, going on top of the lower back. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I do it again, I can go to heaven again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Open the knees softly, gently, extending in the lower back. Connect through the throat and the neck as you connect to the spiral, and complete again and move. And this movement, as we go forward from heaven and we're going into the release, and we arrive to the point that is in between touching balance and in and out of balance, as you touch in the floor and you almost fall forward into your hands, the center of balance, instead of remaining as usually is in the center of your arches, it's going to go a little bit forward into your toes, so then you can facilitate then the opening of the knees. And then from the opening of the knees, then returning into the descending spring, and then the swinging spirals that get you back into moon if we were to continue with the next movement. But if you were to continue doing the same movement over and over again in order to practice, don't go to moon just from the swinging spiral, return to foundation. So then you make sure that you're raising from the 7 centers. Because remember that the diamond of the arms, as they move through the centers of you, are expressing not only the 7 centers, but also the moving center of gravity within you. So remember that, therefore, in this, if you repeat the movement, as I said, you have to come back to foundation. If you don't repeat the movement from swinging a spiral, you're learning to go directly to moon, which is a different path. It's also I want you to notice. If you go to foundation, you gather the spiral, you come back to foundation, and then you're raising the energy to go all the way to heaven. And this movement, when you swing in a spiral, you go directly to the moon as means of starting the next movement, which is called the bow and arrow. Okay? So I'm going to do it again twice. I'm going to do it this time repeating it, so I'm not going to go to the moon. Only this, when I do it the 3rd time, I'm going to go to the moon because the path is different. Okay, so here we go. 6, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, foundation. 1, 2, 3, heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, releasing the spiral. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one is going to go to the moon. Heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, moon. When you complete the movement and you do the descending spring before the swinging spirals, the most important thing when you practice is to remember the amount of opening of your arms to the spiral. So if you see it from the front of the camera, look how wide I'm opening the arms. So if I'm here and I'm really connecting, let's say that I'm in the descending, full descending spring, you know, full forward descending spring. I'm coming back to the center here. And then as I bring my heels down into the descending spring, the neck and the head also create a circle a little bit forward in order to provide the full circle of the spine right there. And then from there, look how the swinging is very much diagonal right here in order to be able to then rotate the arms to come back either to the moon or if you repeat the movement to foundation. Because if you will notice that if you go too close to you in the swinging spirals, you are not going to be able to go around and gather the wave to come back to foundations. And the reason is because you're losing the right and the left connection in your chest, too close to you. This opening, keep the whole shoulder girdle and the chest open so you can come back to foundation in order to do the movement. Okay? So those two details. I think I'll do it facing forward then. So you can see the amount of opening that exists in the arms, and then the descending spring, the full descending spring, and the full release. So 5, 6, I'm going to go a little bit back so you can see much easier. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The swinging. 1, 2, 3. Foundation. 1, 2, 3. Heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole release of the spine in 2 counts. Descending the spring. Yes. Coming back to the center. The swinging. And this time to go to the moon, arriving to moon, and the vertical extension, releasing the movement. I'm going to do the movement twice again. I want you to notice that when we actually release the movement into the hands, and then you're descending with the springs and you open the knees, and then when you return to the touching balance in order to return the heels to the descending spring, the neck and the head goes forward into a circle in order to allow for the descending spring to take place, and in order to allow for the swinging to take place. Because remember that when you do that, that place is called touching balance. And touching balance is like a circle inside of you in which the circularity of your own energy allows you to reconnect continuously, frame by frame, inside of the fluidity of the movement. Okay, so just notice that detail. The descending spring arriving in it, and the movement of the neck and the head. So I'm going to do a little bit diagonal so you can see the connection of it. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2. Now the knee open. 3 and 4, 1 and 2. Now the crown and the neck create a circle right there. You see, to get the swinging, to bring you back. Excuse me, I went directly from moon to heaven. So usually from the swinging, then if you repeat the movement, you have to come back to foundation. So I'll do it again. It's okay. If something happens like that, you just continue with it, and then I said I have to go back because I need to go back to foundation in order to move from the 7 centers, to begin to train myself that I'm always moving with the 7 centers opening, or open, simultaneously open. That is the center of self-equilibrium. So we go 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, falling 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2. Now crown and neck. 4, 1, 2, 3. I got a foundation, and now the whole energy open. Yay! And I go 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, falling 3 and 4. Now this is touching balance right here. Crown and neck right there, swinging into the moon. Yay! And here we go. Good. Wonderful. Clarify to you that in the moment that you release the spine forward and you arrive, like I say to you sometimes that you're falling a little bit forward and you arrive with supporting yourself with your arms, I would like you to see what that supporting of the arms is and what the arms do in the return of the movement, okay? Because this is very, very important. So I will do it facing to you so you can see the detail of the arms. So I want you also to notice all the time that when I go to foundation and I go to heaven, and you have learned that in the first section, but this is a detail that is going to help you, that the arms are moving in a changing diamond through the 7 centers, and my mind is actually localized in that point of change within my spine. So even my head is changing according to the movement itself. The function of my mind is that in this moment is in the pelvic floor, is in the pelvis, is in the solar plexus, is in the throat. So my mind is everywhere in my body, but it's localized point by point through the 7 centers. That occurs all the time in it. So I want you to begin to notice that my mind doesn't stay in my mind and I'm just moving my arms up. Is that the function of the mind is be able to be in the moving point of reference within the energy of the body. That's what it makes the union. That instead of the mind being localized in the mind, it's actually totally localized in the sensation of the energy within the body. Okay, so we're going to do this detail of the arms again. The stanza, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, heaven. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the moment that I'm falling forward, and my elbows, as I support myself with my arms, you see, I could go forward into a somersault almost, but I'm not. I'm just bending very gently the elbows. So when I bend in the knees, My arms are not like locked in my elbow joints, but they are a little bit open. And the amount of openness that I have in my hands mirror the expansion of my chest. So I want you to notice, look, if I go here, for example, you see, I don't have the width anymore. So then it's important to understand that the place that I arrive and the distance between the hands are beginning to express the release of your chest. So, and here, that's the release. And then when you come back to touching balance, then your arms again support you and go forward with my arms. You see, I support my arms. I support myself with my arm. So my heels and my knees don't suffer in the arriving of the descending spring in order to bring me back and into the moon. So there are details that is going to help you enormously. So I'm going to do it again. I want you to notice the amount of opening between my arms. I want you to notice that a little bit of bending of my elbows, so my elbow doesn't get locked, because if it gets locked, then I lost the right and the left, and then the neck becomes closed and the vertebra of the spine. So I want you to notice that. Then in touching balance, I want you to notice that my arms are supporting the body again a little bit forward in order to allow, as I said, the ankle, the heels to arrive to the floor and the knees not to have to grab the joint in order to support me. So the knees gently arrive to placement, and that becomes the swinging spiral. So I'm going to do the movement 3 times, twice as a repetition, and the third one will go to the moon. Okay, this is good to see it. 5, 6, 7, and that's foundation, pelvis, solar plexus, chest, throat, head, crown, which is heaven. 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, and that's the opening of my arms, the bending of my elbows, now touching balance. I go into my hands and out into the neck and head, the swinging around, arriving to foundation if I repeat it, in order to go to the again heaven. Yeah, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, falling forward, the amount of opening and bending to expand the chest, touching balance, arriving through it, moving through it. 2, 3, this is the last time. 1, through the 7 centers. Yay. 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, the amount of opening, which is my heart open, opening the knees, returning to touching balance, going forward, swinging, and now I'm going to go to the moon. Right there. And that's the beginning of the next movement.